All right.
Sorry, what were you about to say?
Oh, no, I got it in 3, 2, 1. What's up, internet? Welcome back to a episode of Save Point. Well, this is like a new thing, so I can't say welcome back. I can just say hello.
Yeah. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome
So-
in. Welcome in. It's like Save Point podcast kind of thing.
Yeah, ni hao. We are here in non-video game form, talking about non-video game stuff.
Right? Oh my god. What started as a video game podcast thing that we were just like, let's do this, has now turned into everything. We will have everything.
We are now a multimedia empire. Games,
well,
movies, little toys from Hasbro, all of them.
Oh my god. What was it that Kendrick said? I deserve it all.
Yeah, I deserve it all. Okay.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
So what this is recently, me and Sek have had several bonding experiences just based off of TV, because I'm a huge TV and film nerd. I very much love TV, very much love film. And Sek, you want to tell them your experience with TV and film and stuff like that? Or you want me to-
Yeah, of course. So, like, I ironically am kind of on the opposite spectrum of that. Of course, I've told Court this, but for me, TV, it's been hard for me to like really sit down and get into TV. Whether it be because of the shows I was watching or what have you, but actually, before I met this guy here. I wasn't watching a whole lot of TV. I would watch anime and maybe a movie here or there, but otherwise I kind of, kept myself busy with like, other hobbies.
Yeah, and yeah, Sek is pretty dope. Things to do. So I took it upon myself to be like, hey Sek, let's not play games for a bit and just watch stuff. And what I would do is I would just host something in Discord and be like, hey man, and Sek, out of curiosity, would just see what I'm watching and then get hooked. So I just started showing him a lot of things that I like, and now I'm catching Sek up on all the TV. On all the TV.
It's a really great experience. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty great.
And one of the
thought.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and one of the first things that we most recently completed, well, we've seen a bunch, but we want to start talking about these things and bringing them over to the channel. So the most recent thing that we've completed is season 2 of The Bear, right? And we're just going to talk about season 2 of The Bear, give it a review, reactions, just some raw thoughts about it. And as we, and through me and Sek's TV/film journey, we'll be talking about more things as we go, but we just want to start here because I think it was pretty fun and we didn't have a time to really sit down and talk about season 2 last night. So why not just do it on a wax?
Exactly. Heck yeah. Before we continue, guys, if you enjoy this, be sure to interact with the content, like it, share it, comment. The more interaction that we can get, it helps us out so that we're able to put more stuff out for you guys. It gives, helps give us some drive. But we were going to do this anyway. Just, we want to see that you guys are enjoying and getting the chance to experience it right alongside with us. So, without further ado, let's get into this season 2 of The Bear.
Ooh. So season 2 of The Bear is the season where they officially close down the beef, and the entire season is dedicated to pretty much showing the preparation needed to open up The Bear, the restaurant that Sydney, Carmi, Nat, and Richie all come together and decide to repurpose the money Michael left behind, and so Carmi can actually do what he wants with this restaurant and get have a chance and stuff like that. And this whole season was very character driven. Every character got their own little moment and episode, because to have a strong staff, you got to highlight its members. You got to know the team.
Heck yeah.
So we got that this season. We also got, Natalie being Sugar being pregnant. We also got the
Claire
uncle.
too.
Yep. Yeah. We also got Carmi having a budding relationship with Claire and trying to figure that out while opening up a restaurant. We had Sydney pretty much once again explaining how she's gambling it all on this. And we see so many other aspects of so many other characters knowing that this is all they have left. And yeah, just go ahead and give us some thoughts, Seth.
Oh my god, dude. So where to start? Like Court said, season 2 very, very character driven, very personal growth driven. I I have to reference some stuff from season 1, but it is funny to me how, and Court will tell you, how literally a lot of the characters that I was like, man, I can't stand this character. She gets on my nerves. He gets on my nerves. I am now rooting for them from the bottom of my heart. Like, Richie's a good example. Tina is a great example. This just they do such an amazing job developing these characters, showing like organic, or like it feels very organic. It feels like, you know what I'm saying, like you're going along this with them, and then getting to see all of the things and all of the individual aspects that go into preparing to open a restaurant, but also just, you know, running a restaurant of that class. It's so good.
Yeah, the show does a good thing of like balancing this like realism, like all these real emotions with like anxiety. Like, this is a stressful ass show to watch.
Oh my God. Yes, it is. Carmen. Oh, they did. Look, Carmen being the main character is so good because that chaos. Like, I feel like by kind of following him and him being more or less the main character, like we really get a peep into the chaos that running a restaurant can do, or even just anything that you're doing where you're putting your all into it. Because, right, like you mentioned Sydney before, Sydney, bro, this season she was going through it, and I mean, like, in some good ways and some bad ways and some questionable ways, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
She was going through it.
It's definitely oh yeah, what you got?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I'll say it's definitely like watching. I think we talked about this when we were watching it last night. This season was so crazy because you see everybody grow except Carmi. Carmi just gets a girlfriend. Everyone else actually has to like go through like a trial or tribulation to evolve to a higher self to be able to be ready for this restaurant. And Carmi doesn't. And the beauty of that, well, the irony of that is when shit hits the fan and the restaurant literally is like, it's do or die time. And it seems like all hope is lost because Carmi gets locked in the freezer because of his own like him being distracted, him
neglect.
his own neglect. You see them pick up the pace and like just all of their evolved selves pick up the pace and cover for him. And you see Carmi in that freezer like, what the fuck? Like, it's like he's losing control. He doesn't have a place, and he just starts lashing out and projecting. And I just thought that was so smart.
It was well done too. Like the choice of memories they chose during that time that he was locked in the freezer or walk-in, whatever you want to call it. The like literally, I don't know if this was intentional. It had to be intentional, right? Like somebody's directing this. So the choice of memories that they chose, right? Like instances where, you know, his teammates, his coworkers, his employees, however you want to refer to them, basically kind of setting fire to things without him around, or, you know, when he set fire to things and he was around. But like the memories that they chose to illustrate there and show and remind us of in that moment of like kind of chaotic, helpless panic, as like Carmen's kind of like, oh my God, you know, this is like Court said, what's going on out there? He was like punching,
he was losing
like he was losing his mind. And it just, they did a very good job kind of illustrating that, just that, like what Court was talking about, him losing that control and him feeling like he needs that control.
Just needs that
because
place
without,
to be. Yeah.
Yep. Because without it, where does he belong? And it's it's very good. It's very good.
Super good.
Another person that I'm sure that I want to talk about that I don't know if Court knew I was going to end up liking this character because I was hard pressed not to.
Is it Richie?
Yeah. Man.
Cousin.
God, man. Richie season 1 is a walking, flaming.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit. For real.
He's literally a walking freaking dumpster fire. And let me tell y'all something. Typically, whenever I do seldomly watch these shows, when I made my mind up about a character, most of the time ain't nothing shaking that. Tell me how this show gonna redeem Richie in a flashback and his own episode. So technically like 2 episodes and they managed to redeem Richie for me. How?
What's so fire about Richie Sec? They don't show anything. They show him being with his ex-wife, and the announcement of them being pregnant and stuff like that, and actually planning for a future. And then we don't see the relationship or anything at all. We just know they got divorced, and he really loves his daughter, and he still cares about his ex, right? And then it's like, you know, all of that contribute to the disheveled, reckless, rude, cantankerous ass person in season 1. And then he gets sent to that restaurant in Forks in season 2. And I don't know if it's because they established order. I don't know if they just sat here and broke it down to him that you don't need other people or something like that. You don't need to feel needed. You know, it's about just like pursuing like this kind of thing that you want, or just being a server. And I think when they talk about, oh yeah, Richie was the only child, so he grew up with Carmi, Michael, and Nat and stuff like that. So Richie loves being around people. He has to. That's like a survival thing for him. And we see him in season 1 with the gangsters. He tries to handle all that stuff. He tries to stop the nerds from coming in with the gun. He feels like the person to move people because he's had to navigate people.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, I think interestingly enough, even though in some ways you might be able to, especially when we're talking season 1, that could be considered a flaw, and depending on how it's used, he takes that flaw and turns it for good. And it's amazing to see, because not only is it that Carmen knows this about him and believes in him, but like it's him coming to learn and see it in himself. That's so beautiful. Like when he's gone off to the other restaurant, he starts off still being, you know, fucking Richie. And he's washing forks. And it comes to a point where he ends up having to discuss it with somebody. And the dude's like, listen, that's what he said. He said, I need you to respect this place, respect what we do here, and most importantly, respect yourself, Richie. I'm not gonna lie, and that you know, maybe it's because it struck something within me as well, but like I feel like that was the thing that kind of turned him around. It's somebody literally saying to him, not in this like, because you know, I think Sydney might have said something kind of similar, but Sydney and Richie, they
be bumping heads. They say it very mean. They talk down to each other.
Yeah. So when the dude that he was working with was literally like and on a respectful tip, he's like, look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This is what it is, and this is what you need to do if you want to be a part of this. You know, if you're trying to learn so that you can be the best, this is what it takes to basically to effectively be the best. And I think that it was really beneficial for Richie to see that side of things, and to be surrounded by people who respect themselves, but also, you know, respect him. Not saying that Carmen and the others didn't, but like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that environment did good for him.
Definitely. That's why he asked if he could stay there, because they kind of they pushed him as a person. You
Yeah.
even saw him actually taking care of his like actual living situation, not living in mess. The whole "I wear suits now." You know, it's such a good
Yeah.
line. It's
I
such
love it.
it's
I
such a
love
good
it.
line. Oh man. Oh, another other people that I would like to give a shout out to this season. I love Fack, bro. I love Maddie Mathis
Fack
and
is
Fack.
so freaking adorable and like wholesome and like stupid. He's the literal perfect combination and blend of those three things. Because Fack is when I say stupid, I'm not like, oh, he's illiterate. I just mean like some of the choices that Fack makes are not smart decisions. But he's redeemed by it because he cares. He's genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep. He's so warm.
and I like that about Fack. I like that Fack is unapologetically himself and not in that like way of like, oh yeah, I'm a bad bitch. He's like, I'm gonna be the nice guy. That's who I am. You know. And if you don't like it, instead of him being like, sucks to suck, he's like, if you don't like it, I wish you the best. I'm
Right.
gonna keep doing it.
I'm gonna keep. Yeah, he's gonna just keep being a little. Oh. He's such a hobbit. He just reminds me of a hobbit from Lord of the Rings. He's just jolly as hell. Oh
Yeah, and I love him for it. He's great.
we can't talk about this season without talking about Marcus.
Bruh.
We have to talk about Marcus because,
Dude,
oh man, he
first season I told you, bro, I was like, I like that guy. I think he might be one of my favorites. And guess what, guys? Marcus is easily one of my favorite characters in The Bear. He is so great. Going from flipping burgers or
He just
making
made
stuff
bread.
at
He was just
Mickey
making bread.
D's, bro. Yeah, before that, he was working at McDonald's, remember?
Oh, yeah, he was working at McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was talking about how the difference between working at the beef before it is the Bear, and how like he went from basically kind of like this drone, that's the word I was looking for, kind of like this drone kind of beat working at McDonald's. Oh yeah, stuff just comes in and you just follow the blah da 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 da, and then him being interested in pastries and desserts and taking the time to kind of like look at that, and Carmen coming in and encouraging them, and Sydney coming in and encouraging them, and then he gets the opportunity to like basically like spread his wings a little bit, and Marcus is so freaking amazing, y'all. Like the drive on Marcus, that's the drive of a man with a mission. Like Marcus's character has to end up going and making a pastry shop, restaurant, something later on down the line. Like that's what I see for like when I look at Marcus, that's what I see in Marcus. I see him like, this is the start. This isn't the finish. This is the start.
You're so right. And that's actually a really good point. I never really thought about that, because even every dessert dish he makes, Carmi and Sid are like, holy fuck, this is delicious. And they're like cream of the crop.
Yes. Literally.
And Marcus was able to go to freaking, what was it, Amsterdam? Or was it Sweden? It was somewhere where he was on a boat. And
yeah, he was in a couple of different places, but I think the one, was it Amsterdam?
It was one of them countries where they wear like wooden shoes sometimes. I don't
Sometimes.
know.
But yeah, he got to go out of the country.
He got to go out of the country, and he was locked in. They showed him the ropes, and he'd been, ever since he saw the level Carmi could obtain, he wanted that for himself. And he's been just studying, but he gets tunnel vision super easy. And that's where Marcus, I'm very curious where to take that with Marcus, because even after he came back from Europe with his sweets, now all of a sudden, because at first we saw that, he's doing this for his mom, he's doing this just to do something because he has to keep her on support and stuff like that. Now it's like he's kind of attached himself to Sydney, and that's leading to like its own little issue where it's like, it's not the time for this, bro. Y'all. And I don't even know if Sydney even like is registered Marcus that way, or with like it was, because it was such a terrible time for him to even shoot a shot.
Awful time for him to be. Yeah. So this is one thing I'm gonna say, and this we can use this to segue into Sydney, but Marcus and Sydney both I love them in pieces. They have terrible sense of timing. Like just abysmally bad. We're in the middle of a rush where everything's chaotic. Hey, chef, let me show you this thing. When the chef is, look. Now, look, I'm not gonna be racist with what I say, and if you have to cut this later, Court, you do what you do. But y'all know when a white person is like, I'm talking like red like a cherry. That was Carmen.
Yep.
And you could see it in his face. It wasn't hard to see that Carmen was like, oh yeah, nah, the fuses, it's gonna go off in a second. Like if things don't get under order, that man gonna snap.
He gonna crash out, bro.
And, not only Marcus with the, hey, chef, I know that the literal restaurant's falling apart around us right now, but I made this pastry. Marcus, now's not the time for that. It might not be the best time for this.
Right.
Like, I love Sydney to pieces, but she's had a couple of those very same moments where it's like, Sydney, honey, not now.
Like,
any other time. But now it's not the time.
To be fair, in Sydney's defense, she's always having to wait when she's putting in like the most work. Like,
you are right.
Like, I'm not. I can't. I hear you. I can only hear 30 seconds of Sid slander from. Like, she really cared.
No, I was about to say, the thing is, and when I say it, it's a handful of times that I'm like, Sydney, that wasn't the best time. Because there are definitely times where it's like, Carmen, bro, really? Like, you the head of this thing. You gotta be the head of this thing if you want to be the head of this thing. But like, you remember I'm pretty sure it was season 1. Yeah, it definitely was season 1. The dish that ended up being reviewed, that she was like, "Oh, we're gonna put this on the menu," and this, that, the other. Da, da, da. That was an example of one of those times that I'm talking about. Because there was a place and a time for it. She didn't give him the chance to give her the time for that one.
Yeah,
but I definitely understand where you're coming from, because like, we talk about Sydney, so let's move on into Sydney. So like, the cool thing about her in season 2 is we kind of get to see not only some stuff about her past, but kind of like, really kind of seeing what it takes to come up with a menu. How many of you have ever tried to actually make a menu? I haven't either.
Trying to like plan out a meal for the week is already a challenge, bro.
But coming up with a menu for a restaurant, and that's these things have to be, your staples. They have to be on, if it's on the menu, it's got to be on the menu. They have the menu for a reason, so the cooks know what the heck they're cooking, and they not just, winging it. But all of the work, all of the like, okay, this is the dish I'm going for. And I love the way that Sydney is also just so driven. Driven enough to wake up in the middle of the night because you had a dream about a dish, writing that ish down so that you can go and do it the next day. That's dedication. That is drive.
Yeah. I think this season did a lot with humanize. I think the season did great at humanizing everybody, but Sydney in particular, because where Sydney is literally being not coddled, but like has a very overprotective dad that doesn't really believe in her dream, and she wants this for more than anything else. She literally started her own restaurant in her like garage or something like that, and that got messed. Like, she really wants to do this, and I love the fact that, now she's like, oh, I messed up on my own, I can follow Carmi or help him out and stuff like that. And when she is, because this restaurant, the bear, is partially hers. This is her dream made full. And when she had that conversation in the last episode, or the second to last episode, with her dad, and he goes like,
not everything has to be the thing.
Yeah, not everything.
Is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, not everything has to be the thing. If anything happens, I still got you and stuff like that. Like, you don't say that to your child. You don't say that to anyone who's literally like do or die time for something they're really passionate about. You say what's Michael's phrase? Let it rip, bro. Go do that shit.
Yep.
Go do that shit, bro. So he didn't give any words of encouragement. So like Sydney literally with the isolation of Carmi not being there, right? With the with Richie just now getting it together. Tina's looking up to her. So Tina's relying on her.
Ooh, we segueing into her next
and then you got Marcus, who's also like has this very weird like a lot is on her shoulders,
literally.
And the last thing she needs to be told is, if you fail, I got you, because it's not just her dreams in it at this point.
No, there's a whole lot on the line for a whole lot of people.
Oh man! So you want to go to Tina or do you want to do Claire? I think we should end with Claire.
We should end with Claire because that's gonna wrap back around to Carmen.
Okay.
So Tina. Tina.
People's champ. Let's go.
I started out hating Tina, y'all. Season with ass Court. You know what?
He did not
Court,
like Tina at all, bro. Anytime she said Jeff, she was like, "Why is she fucking with him right now? Why is she saying Jeff?" Is she trying to
I was on the Tina hate train, y'all. First season. So I was like, don't you be disrespectful to Tina, or sorry, not Tina, Sydney like that. Now I'm like, don't you talk wrong to Mama Tina now. We gonna have to step outside. But no, first season, I'm like, she needs to get some respect, and you know, like I get it, she's been working there and everything, but like, come on, you don't gotta be well, I'm gonna say what I said. You don't gotta be a bitch about it, like, and they did some work with her first season. By the end of first season, I liked Tina. Season 2, I love Tina. Tina is amazing, and we will stand no Tina slander around here.
Tina slander because she even got Eber back.
Yeah, my goodness, she is the goat, my friend. Like, she is such a mama bear, man. Like, and I love that about her, and I think I love it so much about her because it's like she was probably, aside from Marcus, one of the quickest characters to go from like, I'm gonna give you shit because I can. I was here first, and I don't really know who the fuck you are, and I don't care who the fuck you are. She went from like that to like, not only like on top of things, but looking like she was like, she's like Marcus. She's got the thirst, man. I remember first season, she literally like, going from listening to Richie gossip and talk about freaking nonsense that honestly nobody really cares about, and participating in those shenanigans, going from that to telling Richie, yo, you gotta either shut the fuck up or get the fuck out or go the fuck on somewhere, like go to the front, because with Carmen and Sydney, I am doing better. I'm improving. Right. I'm on my game better than I've ever been. And the respect that Tina has for Carmen and Sydney, once she gets it, bruh, it's no wonder she the sous chef. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
She can throw down too. She
can throw down.
She is definitely really great for her. You said everything on the head. Like when she said, "Hey, they taking my game up a whole nother level." It's just that self-respect, bro. She's like, I can do better. I can count. I can hang with them. It's like when you're playing a fighting game with your friend who's really good, but you take a round or two off of them. You're like, oh, I get it. I'm here now. It's like I'm locking in, bro. I gotta figure out.
I can do this if I try. I can do this if I try, right? Like,
right.
Hey,
it's so good. Oh,
and we can't talk about we cannot talk about season 2 without talking about Claire. I want before we get to because that's heavy. Did we miss anybody? And
We gave a little mention to Eber, but he didn't really have development much besides being scared and then seeing him bringing
I'm
him back.
really hoping to see more for Ibra in season 3. I really am.
I definitely, yeah. I just want him to be around. I kind of like him around, him and Gary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like them all just being around. Freaking one of the chefs was doing crack in the back. You know.
Oh my god, dude! The way that Marcus and Sydney recovered from that tiff because of that was great, but also like,
doing crack in 2020.
Somebody that
it's crazy.
We gotta talk about somebody before we move on to Claire.
Who?
Pete.
Oh, Pete is so wholesome. Pete's so nice. He's so good for Nat. Pete
is everything that I said Fact is. Take the stupid away.
Just so kind. Genuinely a good noodle.
And the reason I wanted to bring him up
the mom
is because of the mom. Now, listen, I do not make a regular habit out of slandering people and calling folks outside of their names. And before we continue, yeah, I do understand she got some stuff going on, but she is a shit mother, in my humble opinion.
Her kids are traumatized, bro.
Deeply traumatized. Like,
they gotta be there for each other, man.
Exactly, because and just
and one of the best parts about Pete is Pete knows this, but Pete's like, your daughter still loves you, and you would make her day if you just showed up. And I love her so much, and I love y'all family so much. Even I'm pretty sure Pete's aware that they don't like him that much.
Yeah, he's not stupid.
But he's still like, I love y'all so much. So for her, just come inside, bro. And you see the pain in his face when he has to lie to her or like deflect from the truth.
Dude, he was falling apart. Like, I've never seen someone so hurt. And it's like he didn't even directly lie to her, but it's like you could just feel it. He wanted to tell Nat. He's like, your mom came by and she chose to leave. But how do you tell the woman, how do you tell your wife that? Especially when she's pregnant.
Right. With y'all kids.
Like, how you drop that bomb on her. And the thing is, this is like, it puts Pete in this really difficult position. Another reason why I say the mom is fucked up, because the mom literally did this thing, and I'm sure you noticed it, Court, but I have to talk about it because it's something that, like, even though I noticed it while it was happening, we didn't have a chance to talk about it. So we got to talk about this. Notice how she basically forced him into saying it's okay.
Yep, just saying like, hey, just tell me it's okay so I can go. Just giving herself an excuse to leave. Literally. Forcing it out because she was just couldn't just go and say no or show up or anything like that.
She couldn't take accountability, and that was killing me on the inside, because it's like, I mean, like, if we're being real, me and Court really just said it, you know, like the family doesn't necessarily like him. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't treat him the way that he treats them. We'll just put it that way. And I mean, if a man in his position, literally a man in his position, there'd be nobody would blame him for feeling ostracized or alienated. And yet this man cares, like Court said, so much that he is like, you know, like he could just say, fuck it. This ain't got shit to do with me. This is y'all's mess. Y'all figure it out. I don't know if you've ever had to talk to a girlfriend, you know, love partner's parent, and they're asking you to do something or to say something or to basically kind of like give them the okay on doing something that you know is gonna hurt their child who you happen to be romantically involved with. That's not a fun feeling.
I've never been there. That sounds like hell, dude.
It is not a fun feeling. You know, like parents that'll be like, I know that, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but just don't tell my daughter. And it's like, I'm wrong if I do, I'm wrong if I don't. But I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to tell yourself, and if you don't, I'm gonna do it for you. So what's it gonna be?
Right.
But it sucks.
We can't talk about Pete without talking about Nat, and I think Nat's underrated this season.
Nat
I think
is
Sugar
a
is
freaking champ, yo. We gotta talk about Nat because, especially talking about the mom. So, for those of you who have been watching The Bear, y'all will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna give a synopsis for anybody who's not familiar with The Bear, so that you still have some show left to experience. The mom, she's batshit crazy. She shows though that she loves her boys because it's just one of those things you can kind of see. She laughs with the boys. She trusts the boys to get things done. Whereas Nat, her nickname, her family nickname is Sugar. And that sounds sweet, right? That sounds like, oh, okay, her nickname's Sugar. That's great. It's not so great when you get down to the reason why her name is Sugar. And I can't remember what the dish was, but effectively, Nat made something food-wise, use sugar instead of salt. Mother made a terribly big deal out of it and never let her live it down to the point where she won't let Nat help cook in the kitchen. She, and she's not nice to Nat. She's really not.
Nice.
Nat asks her if she's okay because she cares about her mom. Like Court was saying, Pete literally knows. She still loves her mom. She still cares about her mom. And yet her mom is berating her, belittling and berating her at every chance that she gets. And it's awful. It's awful to watch. But Nat, despite all of that, still has that love, has that hope for her mother. And that's beautiful.
Very
how much grit and gumption that takes?
It takes a lot to do it. Handling that while handling your brother who's suffering from panic attacks and anxiety that you still feel alienated from because he was gone doing chef stuff while your other brother was having just falling apart at the seams. Michael just offed himself, right?
Yeah.
And all she got is really Pete and Uncle Gary.
Yep.
And Uncle Gary loved the hell out of that, bro. That's
but he's just an all-around jerk. I love him. He's a good character, but man, if that man ain't a jerk, there are a couple of times I've been like,
he about his bag. He about business, bro.
He is about his bag. I respect a man that's about their money, but dang, bro, come on.
So, oh man, doing all of that while balancing the tensions of everybody in there, it's a lot. And she if Tina is Big Mama, Nat is Squad Mom. Nat is
agreed.
She's doing the accounting, all the paperwork, everything. And
getting permits for them to build the bear left and right, all of that.
And that's what that moment when Sid made her that omelet and shit, stuff like that. I really like that moment for that.
That moment. That was a beautiful moment between Sydney and Nat, and it was so sweet because
it's such a good
she made a cravings omelet, y'all. She made a cravings omelet. It was nice. It was nice and fancy cravings omelet.
It's so good.
That's amazing.
It was so good. It was really great. Freaking shout out to Nat. Now, we're heading towards the end of the video, and that's why we got to get into the hard part. We got to talk about Claire. Okay, we want to preface this by saying we like Claire as a character. We like what Claire came to do. Claire is sweet. Claire is a sweetie patootie. I'm on Richie's side at the end of the show, on the episode where he's cussing the fuck out of Carmi for how he treated Claire.
I'm also on Richie's side, despite knowing like a little bit about both, you know what I'm saying, about both sides of the thing. I'm still on Richie's side.
Because Claire didn't deserve that shit. Oh, okay. How do we do this? You want to talk? You want to start it off?
Okay. Yeah. Let me. Let's get them into this. So, Claire is a family friend, a childhood friend. Well, I say family friend because of as well as childhood friend, because she's got a relationship with, like, Fact knows her, Michael knew her, Richie knows her, Nat knows her. Anybody in the family, they know who Claire is. You feel me? Like, yep. So that's why I use the word family friend for that. But also, she's Carmen's childhood friend. And I'm not gonna tell y'all the whole shebang bang, but basically, they end up getting together, and it's beautiful. Claire is so amazing, considerate. She helps Carmen, like, she sees the chaos of what's going on and what the task is that Carmen has to do, and she still loves on him. Yep, man.
She sees him even beyond just the restaurant, just genuinely just how shaken up he is by just the world, just how frightened and anxious, and just she's like that safety for him. She's been paying attention to him this entire time since they were kids.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, man. Like the way, like, Claire's actor did a really good job, because there's something about the way that she be looking at Carmen, bro, that just makes your heart feel warm, and it's like everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, yes.
But here's the thing.
Carmi made a choice when he didn't have to make a choice. Because Carmen is so anxious, because Carmen is so, I don't want to say erratic, but he doesn't have any consistency in his life except the thing that he can focus on, which is cooking, because that's all he's put his time into. So he doesn't know how to just kind of how to balance or anything like that. So while the bear is being built, mind you, they are deep in the hole. They have to open early and make money, or everyone's dreams gone.
Is gone. And we're not talking no paltry amount of money. We're talking like almost $1 million.
Was it 350,000? 350,000
was the, yeah. It was 300 was the initial loan, and then they borrowed another 550 on top of that, didn't they?
Yep.
They are 850,000. By the way, we ain't talking $850, $850,000 into the hole. And it's not. We're gonna do the long story short on this one. They had some challenges, y'all. They had some challenges,
tribulations, and trials, bro. Literally. So with all of that, you would think that Carmi, being one of the co-owners, one of the lead people here who has the final say on all the decisions, would be more attentive. But he didn't. He chose the piece of Claire. And while that isn't a bad thing by itself, when you have everyone else relying on you, when you have other people's when you're using other people's time, other people's money and resources, and they need you,
you gotta be available.
You gotta be there. Focus. And Carmen couldn't be there, and that led to Sydney building some animosity and trying to build the menu by themselves, right? That led to that. I definitely felt like even
Nat was affected by that too.
Nat was affected. Everyone close to him, because they didn't even know Carmi had a girlfriend. He didn't even know to call her his girlfriend, because he's so in the air. He's so aloof. He's not grounded to anything except when it's time for him to cook. So in those moments where, and this culminates in the final episode, where Carmen gets in his driver's seat as the chef, and during the opening hours, there's a certain point where he goes, where he has to serve everybody, but he decides to stop serving for a minute and go serve Claire and just do something for her and pop back into the kitchen. And as soon as he pops back into the kitchen from serving Claire, it's the weight of everything crashing onto him, while also going to, while also still in the middle of service. So he has to go get something out of the freezer, and they bring this freezer up, I think three or 4 points during this episode of the one before, and they say, "Hey, Carmen."
Oh, and also throughout no, because it's the episode before, and I think one more episode before that, they're talking about Carmen, like you said, like you were about to say. Call the fridge guy.
Yeah, call the fridge guy to fix the door handle. Call the fridge guy to fix the door handle. And Carmi's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get to it. And instead of taking up those responsibilities and doing them, knocking them out, and then go hanging out with Claire, which honestly, that would have been the smartest thing to do.
That would have been the smartest, most responsible thing to do.
He just invests all his time into Claire, and at the detriment, his own negligence comes and bites him in the ass when he has to when he ends up getting trapped in the freezer, because he didn't fix the handle. So he and this is what I think is really great about this season. We talked about it earlier. When Carmen's in that freezer, Carmen's losing it, because remember, the only thing that keeps him grounded, the thing where he feels like his purpose, where he feels needed, he has a place, is when he's cooking, when he's doing his chef shit. And because the restaurant is built also around Carmen, you would think, oh man, without Carmen, this whole shit's gonna fall apart. But the bear is so fucking good. The other characters have developed way past our expectations, to the point they can handle this whole service without Carmen.
And it was amazing and beautiful, which I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But yeah, we gotta focus on Carmen here. But I do want to talk about that duality before the video's over.
Okay, we got you. So after they blow out the service and Carmen's just left in the freezer, he's been in that freezer screaming, just alone with his thoughts, and then he starts getting self-destructive, saying, I was foolish to think I could have happiness and enjoyment in my life and stuff like that. I'm a machine meant to just make stuff. I'm only meant to do this cooking shit. Why did I ever even think something like that would work? It's a waste of time. All that shit. And guess who, the entire time during the service, when Carmen wasn't showing up, when it was taking too long, guess who was worried about Carmen the entire time from the moment they walked into the restaurant?
Claire. And I'm a piggyback on this real quick. And guess who literally, like, as soon as she found out about Carmen being being locked in the freezer is kind of traumatizing, I can admit. Mm-hmm. But also, like, on the scale of traumatizing events, it's not like the most grand. Mm-hmm. But she still was worried about him. Mm-hmm. Like, to the point where she's like, "Oh, well, let me know if he's okay." She's like, "I'm gonna go find out if he's okay, and if he's not okay, I'm gonna make him okay."
Right.
Continue.
And from her being back there, here's Carmen saying all of this stuff, just dismissing their relationship, his feelings, saying that just eventually just defaulting to, "Oh, I shouldn't be with her. I should do this other shit because this other stuff is more important to me, and I'm good at this. Why should I even try this?" And that just breaks Claire's heart. And so much so to the point where the urgency is taken away from Carmi being in the freezer, to everyone going like, "What the fuck did you just do to Claire?" Even me and Seth, when we were watching the episode, we were like, "Fuck you, Carmen."
Yep. Like, no, you did not. No, you did not. And I knew she heard it. I don't know how I knew she heard it before they showed that she heard it, but I knew she heard it, bruh.
Oh man, it was man, such a good show. And then the first person, and then then MVP Richie comes through. Richie, in his newfound respect for himself, and this is one of my favorite moments from Richie, when Richie is confronting Carmi through the door about what just happened to Claire. Richie just gives it to him point blank. Why can't you just let good things happen to you? And he and then Carmi's so mad and frustrated from everything that he starts going off on Richie and everything like that, talking about Richie's failed marriage, talks about his kid, how he's Richie's a loser and stuff like that.
Yeah, and how it'd be nothing without him, this, that, the other.
And Richie, out of respect for himself, you see him dip into it a little bit, but he says, "You know what, bro? I love you. And he walks away from this.
I love you. Like, literally, like yelling at him. Like, Carmen's doing the yelling and calling him a loser. And throughout that, on the other side of the door, Richie's yelling right back at him, "I fucking love you. I'm basically nothing but positivity. Like you said, he dipped back into it a little bit at the beginning of of that thing, but then he came right back out of it beautifully. And you could tell where he made the active decision to, I'm not gonna sit here. I'm gonna tell the truth. I fucking love you. I love you and I love your family, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Beautiful moment from Richie.
Oh man. And that's where
also
sorry,
go ahead.
And that's where the season ends. And we're gonna go back to the service because we do gotta wrap it up. So Seth, go ahead.
Yeah. So service. I'm not gonna get into the finer details with Richie because I was about to, because that moment, you know which one I'm talking about, where he steps up, that was amazing.
Starts reading the orders, yeah.
But the thing that I want to discuss, y'all, is something that I think the show did very, very well in the finale, which is this whole, service that we're talking about, where Carmen got locked in the freezer. This was basically their big grand opening. And on the outside, like in the restaurant where, customers are eating and everything's beautiful. It's calm, it's lively. It is a like superior experience, something that like you would be in that restaurant, and just watching the people be in that restaurant that way, like I can't figure out how to describe it other than it was a fantastic service. They killed it, guys. But the moment that the camera goes back to behind the doors and into the kitchen, you see the chaos. You see basically the hell. And I can take a moment real quick to bring Richie's thing up in this. It's just so amazing because basically Richie, despite, Carmen being in the freezer and everything, Richie stepped up and played his part to help manage this chaos. And they did it. They did it as a team. But like that, there's something so beautiful about how they captured the chaos going on to make the beauty of the experience of the customer. I thought that the way that they represented that was just fucking phenomenal, because it can, yes, you're looking at a restaurant and that's parallel to a lot of things. Y'all, I want you to think about this. How much work do you think goes into any of the films that you got that we watch, Marvel films, whatever? How much work and chaos do you think goes into getting us the final product? Here's a hint for you. It's a lot. Court loves film and TV. He can tell you it's a lot. Am I wrong?
It's a lot.
Okay. I'm a musician, and me and Court, this is something that I was bringing up to Court in the first season. Like, I found it interesting to see how for a cook things are regarded. I'm, as a musician, in my experience, in college and everything, and the expectations that you have when you're an active musician in the music scene is very similar to the strictness and rigidness of what's expected of you if you are a cook operating at a high level in these kinds of places. The chaos that goes into the rehearsals, the practices, the dress rehearsals, all of that, the stuff that nobody else sees. Y'all get to come to the concert and experience the final product, but don't necessarily get to see all of the chaos and hard work and the blood and the sweat and the tears that literally go into making a moment beautiful. And I just have to go back and say, they did a really good job capturing that.
You did a fantastic job.
That was probably one of the best parts of the finale for season 2. Because it was just so beautifully done. Like, I'm talking like it was breathtakingly beautifully done. Like, I'm not a video guy. Maybe Court can explain it in the science.
You're slowly becoming one, Sec. I want you to know you did not talk about this stuff when we first started watching things.
I know we didn't. But like seeing that, like Court can probably break it down on a scientific level as to, how and why that went as well as it did and why it came off so well. But as a viewer with a unique perspective to art and a profession that demands that you give your best all the time, even if you're never thanked for it. And the truth is, sometimes you may never be thanked for it.
Facts.
Seeing that really, they just did a really, really bomb ass job of just showing you the duality of the experience. And it's just something that, you know, for all of our viewers, I want y'all to think about that. Like, take that home with you. Next time that you're at a restaurant, at a comedy club, at anything that requires someone creating to give in some way, shape, or form, I want you to just take a moment and think about how much work probably goes into what it is that they're doing to give you this performance. And I feel like it will help you appreciate it that much more.
That much.
And I just want to leave y'all with that.
Ooh, that was fire.
Thank you. I had been thinking that since last night. I was like, that was the thing I wanted to talk to you about more than anything else, dude. I was like, they did that, bro. They did that.
They did that shit. So, what would you say? What would you rate this season of TV if you just had to rate everything you've seen so far? What would you give it on a scale? And what are your hopes for season 3?
So on a scale, if we do this arbitrary scale of 1 to 10,
1 to 5 stars. 1 to 5 stars.
Okay, 1 to 5 stars. That's so much easier, and I can do this. Okay, so we got 4.5 stars.
4.5.
I have to see how it ends before I can give a full 5.
The season itself, just the season itself.
For the season itself as an isolated entity, yeah, I can't not give it a 5. It was that good, y'all. I gave it 4.5 because I'm like, it's that good, but I don't know how everything's gonna end. But the season as itself, as an isolated piece of media and storytelling, was fucking phenomenal. They don't really leave you wanting for anything except for more.
It's super great.
It's great. Very, very good storytelling.
Very good. And what are your hopes for season 3?
Let's see. So we've got the bear open. Okay. So here are my hopes for season 3. Carmen, if you ever watch this video, I know your real name's not Carmen, but the actor for Carmen.
The Jeremy Allen White. I need you to listen here, buddy.
First of all, you're fucking amazing. You are a extremely talented individual. But I need you, Carmen, I need you to rectify that shit with Claire. Claire is bae, and Claire is to be protected at all costs. Okay? Claire Bear. All right? And we want her to be your Claire Bear. So I'm going to need you to get it right, sir. There is such a thing as being able to have your profession and still give your all to it and still have interpersonal relationships. It's hard, but you can do it. You got to start being honest, though. All right, Carmen? I want to have this talk with you again, Carmen. All right. So, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm 50-50 on Sydney Marcus shipping. Okay. Here's the reason why. I love Sydney and Marcus together. I love the energy they have when they're together, and I love what I feel like they could do for one another. I don't know that it's a good time for them until they're not neck deep underwater. Because like we said, they're almost they're $150,000 short of being $1 million in the hole. And Sydney's trying to learn how to take the lead. And Marcus, I love you, bro.
It's
You
just
gotta
not the
calm
time.
down.
It's just not the
You
time.
gotta calm down and learn that there is a time and a place for everything.
Oh, plus the thing with his mom, the messages at the end of the
Yeah, I
phone.
was about to
Oh.
say that too. The messages at the end, he's out of the whole 2 seasons we've been going, he ain't never been called like that. So we know Marcus is about to go through something. I kind of hope his mom lives.
Just, oh man. Oh,
But you know, I'm not holding my breath for that because I'm not a stranger to hurt feelings. So
yeah.
I want Sydney to be there for Marcus. I want it to be Sydney that's there for Marcus.
Because they're just good friends off rip. Like if they're a couple, you know, cool. But just as friends, they're still awesome. They're still.
Oh
great.
yeah, no, and that's the thing though. Like if they were to be a couple, that could be great. That could be awesome. But like Court says, they are amazing as friends, and that's like almost why I want to see them together. Like, it's kind of funny because like I don't want to see Carmen and Sydney, for example. I don't want to see them together.
There's
like,
a very large portion of the fandom of the Bear that like that. Well, not large, but it's a concern, like a very vocal minority that like the Carmi and Sid ship. And I'm like, dog, they are just professional besties, bro.
Yeah. Like, and they have bestie moments, and you know, there's nothing wrong with platonic love, but yeah, their relationship is platonic, and if it goes anything other than platonic, I might barf.
Facts, bro.
Look, I'll be.
That's
I
how
will
you
be
ruin.
like
That's how you ruin the characters right there, bro.
I'll be just like Sydney after when she had to step outside for a minute. I want to see Tina. I feel like Tina and what's the guy's name again? Ibra. Okay, cool. I actually like had it right. That's crazy. I want to see Tina help Ibra, not in a romantic way, but just in the sense of, because she's already helping him, you know. Whatever it is that he's going through, I want to see him get some resolution with that, some kind of normalcy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because he's going through stuff, and it's pretty clear that he's like going through stuff, and it's pretty sure it's like PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD. He's a war vet from Sudan. Like, yeah, it's a lot, bro. Like, it's a lot.
So I want him to find his place too.
Okay. Yeah, season 3.
And for right now, that's what I want out of season 3. I don't want to see the mom again. I'm terrible for that, I know, but I don't want to see the mom again.
Well, we'll find out in season 3 of the Bear. This has been really fun just to sit down and talk about the season. What you said, we got to do this more. We got to do this.
Oh yeah, no,
more.
absolutely. Shoot, we could start doing it. We can make a TikTok and YouTube thing out of it, because there are people. Remember when I did the TikTok about the horror movie? People wanted me to watch certain horror films. So, hey, we got stuff that we can watch, bro.
There we go. We gotta knock it out. So that's been our season 2 of the Bear thing. I can't really, I've already seen all of the Bear. You know, for me, it's a 5-star out of 5, and I can't really talk about what I want in season 3. So I already seen it. There's no. So we will be uploading this. I'll probably, this is gonna be like a little podcast thing, so everybody who wants to sit down and listen to it, it'll be there. Thank you guys so much for all the support. And if you like this, go ahead and check, go ahead and like the video, comment, whichever. And if you have any shows that you want us to check out, let us know. We do have some things like Abbott Elementary. We have Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Atlanta, Lovecraft Country, things I want to show Zach, as well as some movies like Dune and a bunch of other things. So
when I finish Insecure, we need to do one on that entire thing.
Okay.
Because we can't go season by season, because I'm already, I'm in it. I'm in it. So we got to do one about Insecure, though. But guys, we do also make video game content. If you're interested in that, check out our Save Point channel on YouTube. Also, we have a Discord.
This is on the YouTube.
Discord for this.
This is gonna be on the YouTube.
Oh, this is gonna be on the. Yep. You know what? Just cut that. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.